Iron Leaves is finally free, now available to use in VGC, and it is a Pokemon we have not seen at all, really, but it does offer quite a bit, especially with the Psyblade, able to do a lot of damage in the electric terrain. And this team specifically, with the Rising Voltage Raging Bolt and Psyblade Iron Leaves, can do a lot of damage and showcase how powerful electric terrain strategies can be. We're going to be seeing how well it can perform in today's video. This team is all about setting up the electric terrain with the Thundurus and is able to do so much damage. You have the Thundurus with the Covert Cloak that's really annoying for a lot of Tailwind teams, especially the ones that run Incineroar and Rillaboom. And Tornadus can't hit the Thundurus. The main way you're really going to be able to dish out a lot of damage to Thundurus is usually with like an Urshifu or Flutter Mane on that team. You pressure the Urshifu with Thunder Wave that doesn't want to get paralyzed, while Bolt Storm is able to do a lot of damage. And Aerial Impulse is a really effective tactic against a lot of the special attackers. Really negates the damage they can do, and it's an incredible move. Electric Terrain to help out with the spores that prevent your Pokemon that are currently grounded on the field from being put to sleep, but also powering up the Iron Leaves with the Quark Drive attack boost, as well as the Psyblade damage alongside Rising Voltage damage from the Raging Bolt, but also powering up its electric type moves as well as a bonus. We have Iron Leaves that's able to do so much damage with the Leaf Blade, Close Combat, Psyblade, and has that hidden trick that you might not expect. Sometimes the Ally Switch can get opponents off guard. That Life Orb and the Attack Boost Quark Drive allows it to do a lot of damage, even if it doesn't have the best attack stats straight up. We also have the Assault Vest Raging Bolt, able to tank attacks, but also Rising Voltage with Terra Electric. So much damage. Thunderclap with Electric Terrain can also catch a lot of opponents off guard. And a Volt Switch to gain momentum and allow for free switches. We also have good partners with the team with the Booster Energy Speed Booster Flutter Mane that can help out with Icy Wind support for some speed advantage for the Iron Leaves, or the Xianpao to dish out a lot of damage. You also have the Clear Amulet Gouging Fire with the Breaking Swipe, and Dragonance on this one, which doesn't able to set up consistently with the Dragonances, but it is a pretty threatening option, and Breaking Swipe is a really good tool, especially burning Bulwark to cover for the very fast offensive priority spam, which doesn't care about Thunder Waves from Thundurus. Xianpao is also able to help boost the power of the Iron Leaves and the Gouging Fire's damage output, but also just really good coverage in general. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Flame Ogerpon, or Shifu Tornadus, Flutter Mane, Xianpao, and the Farigiraf. Okay, so Tailwind plus the Farigiraf, so they have a Trick Room mode and a Tailwind mode. They could probably have Imprisoned Trick Room as well, but that won't be a factor in this game. This is interesting. I'd imagine it's going to be the Water Shifu on this team. I don't think it's going to be Darker Shifu. You have a Xianpao, so I don't think that's really necessary. I think it would be really ideal if I can figure out a way to break through the Urshifu, and Raging Bolt is of course one of the best factors, but they do have a Xianpao and a Flutter Mane, which I imagine one of them is leading. What's annoying is the Farigiraf, because I don't know if they're going to bring Farigiraf and lead it or not, mainly because it is able to stop Thunder Waves, which is pretty important, but I cannot say on that factor. I really do like my own Xianpao lead. I think Xianpao is really strong here. And I would say I like my Thundurus quite a bit here. I don't really like my own Flutter Mane because I do take a lot, especially because the under Tailwind, they're going to outspeed me. And I don't think it's really that valuable here. I really like the Raging Bolt. Iron Leaves isn't too bad, and I think I might need it just to handle Urshifu. Even though I'm not a super big fan of it, I think it might be necessary. Like, the only other Pokemon I could see myself bringing is Gouging Fire, and it's not a good Fairy Resist. Xianpao's a little bit awkward, or Shifu breaks through the Burning Bulwark, so it doesn't even matter there. It could be good into Ogerpon Heartflame, but I'm not faster than it, which is a pretty big concern. And I don't know if I'm able to set up Dragonances. So I do think maybe just surviving the 30 strikes might be a bigger deal here. We're going to see the... Okay. Urshifu plus Torn is not a lead I expected when I had Raging Bolt, but... Okay, I am going to go into Raging Bolt, and this is where it could get a little bit ugly. I'm trying to figure out if I should set up the Electric Terrain just to power up my Raging Bolt or not, because I don't know if they're going to target down my Thundurus. I think I'm just going to go and dish out a Wall Bolt Storm if I can, because if they don't target the Thundurus, they get heavily punished. I don't know if they are going to target the Xianpao down. I could see it, but I do think they would probably want to focus down at the Thunders, but we're gonna see actually a withdrawal. Is this a Farigiraf? Yeah, they were scared of Thunder Wave, so I'm pretty happy about this decision, especially if they target the Xianpao, but I don't know. They do Surging Strikes just the Thunders, and it looked like they were trying to use my Sword of Ruin to take the KO, so that's really ideal. I am able to tank the attack extremely well here, or you know, for Thunders against Surging Strikes, I think that's pretty fair. Wobble Storm, looks like I missed, and I double missed here. It's okay. I don't think that's too bad. I do have a really powerful Rising Voltage, and I am just going to set up my Electric Terrain, because it is the best thing that I can do. I don't know if they're going to retreat the Urshifu or not, because if they want to take the knockout into my Thundurus, they either have to attack with Farigiraf or Urshifu, but if they, give up Urshifu, that's a pretty good trade for me here. So I don't know if they're going to swap out or not, but I like the idea of Rising Voltage. I'm not too scared of the Farigiraf. I would have really liked the damage of Farigiraf though, because I don't know if Rising Voltage would KO. I don't think so without a little bit of chip in the Electric Terrain, so that's unfortunate, but we do get the Electric Terrain off and able to do a massive amount of damage. Like this Ogerpon, sure, it switches in, but this is a pretty hefty attack, so I'm kind of okay with this position as we see the Electric Terrain be fired off. Let's see how much damage we do, because I would really like a strong hit here. Oh my goodness, that's so much damage. A Dazzling Gleam going to be finishing off the Thundurus. Yep, that's fine. Okay, I really like this turn. Oh, critical hit. Don't think it mattered. Maybe it did. Farigiraf is pretty weak, but I'm okay with that trade. Right now, I'm in a pretty phenomenal position to just bring out Xianpao. And I'm pretty sure that I just KO the... I'm pretty sure I just KO the Ogerpon with Icicle Crash. And I guess I could go for my... I don't want to Terra Electric, because if I Terra Electric, it gets really awkward. Yeah, I don't want to Terra Electric. I think this play is just a Rising Voltage the Farigiraf and go for a Protect. I don't know if Ogerpon's attacking here. I could see them targeting out my Xianpao, but they might also fear the Raging Bolt. They actually don't have good answers to Raging Bolt, surprisingly. I could also see if I could KO the Farigiraf with Terra Electric Rising Voltage, and that might be worth it here. You know what? I think that is worth it. I'm going to target down the Farigiraf with it, and I'm going to go for the Icicle Crash and the Ogerpon. I don't know if they're going to Spiky Shield to potentially break a Sash. I don't think they're going to waste a Terra option, at least into the Ogerpon here. So I like the idea of getting this Terra with my Raging Bolt and potentially knock out the Farigiraf so I can go for Thunderclaps afterward. We're going to see Helping Hand, which is really, really good for me. As if I hit the Crash here, fantastic. Nice. That's really good for me. So I'm able to get rid of the Ogerpon. Amazing, because now No Follow Me is on the board. That was their Electric Resist. And here comes a Terra Electric Rising Voltage. I think this picks up the knockout for Farigiraf, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, blown up. So that's absolutely incredible. Getting rid of Farigiraf means that I can threaten the Thunderclap into the Urshifu, and this is Electric Terrain boosted Terra Electric Thunderclap. Gonna do a lot of damage even if the Urshifu is not a defensive Terra. So if it's Water Terra, it's absolutely screwed. But if they don't have Water Terra, I don't think they can knock out Raging Bolt even with this the Sword of Ruin. So now I just go for Thunderclap into Urshifu. I'm going to go for an Icicle Crash. Gonna target down the Tornadus, and feeling pretty good about the situation. That Rising Voltage is just so much damage to the Electric Terrain. Very happy that Electric Terrain was set up. And now I'm probably going to be able to clean this one up here, because the only way that Urshifu... We saw that it was Choice Scarf earlier. I think the safest play for me is just be able to pressure it now. I could have went for Sucker Punch too, plus the Thunderclap. I don't think it's that necessary. We are going to see a Terra from Urshifu. Going to be Terra Steel. Okay. So unless I'm completely wrong here, and even if I get this wrong, I still think I'm actually in a pretty good chance to just win the game outright. They go for Tailwind, which doesn't really change anything other than the Torn being faster. Able to go for the Thunderclap. This is Electric Terrain boosted. Terra Electric. Let's see if it KOs. Beautiful damage. Beautiful damage. Doesn't matter about the Terra. Yeah, I was thinking like, I think you need Terra Grass. I think if you're Terra Grass, it doesn't matter. Again, Sucker Punch plus the... Sucker Punch Thunderclap might have been safer, but overall I felt like even then, like, what did they do with the Urshifu? If they're not Terra Water, they can't knock out the Xianpao with Surgy Strikes. I get the Crash Talk on Torn, assuming it hits, and then I could Sucker Punch or Thunderclap afterward. And if they lock themselves in an Aqua Jet, they just lose because the Torn can't do enough damage output against me. So felt like I was pretty safe overall. That's why I wanted to hard commit and get rid of Farigiraf, even if it costed me my potential Urshifu resist. Who needs the Urshifu resist when I just outspeed and KO with that Thunderclap? Tornadus, Pelipper, Urshifu, Fluttermane, Rillaboom, and Archaludon. All right, looks like a pretty offensive rain team, which we have pretty good. I think we have pretty good answers for. I really do like the Raging Bolts. I like the Thunders quite a bit. I really actually like the Iron Leaves here. Even though there is the double flying types, I do think that it can still put in a lot of work. And then last one, I probably need Xianpao for Sacred Sword pressure, which I think I will probably bring. I think Thunders is just such a good lead against this team. They really struggle against Eerie Impulse things. And I do like the Raging Bolt because it can pressure the Urshifu, which is nice. I do want to bring my Iron Leaves as a backup to Urshifu and does some pretty good damage across the board. Xianpao to help enable that, but also Sacred Sword to pressure the Archaludon, which I think is a big threat. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. It's interesting to see both Pelipper and Tornadus on the same team, so they have access to the Rain Dance and the Priority Tail, and depending on their mode, I gotta watch out. Archaludon could stack up the damage. Luckily, I do have an Assault Vest on the Raging Bolt, so I'm gonna be able to live any Draco Meteor, I'd say, but after it gets to +1, that's where it gets to dangerous territory. So would like to either focus around everything around Archaludon or check it as quick as I possibly can because Archaludon is a massive threat. Luckily, Eerie Impulse on Thunders helps slow it down quite a bit. So if they want to get Tailwind up, whatever their partner is probably doesn't like the... Ooh, like Fluttermane Rillaboom is perfect lead here. I am able to lead my Thundurus plus the Raging Bolts, and right now, don't mind the situation. I like the idea of just going for an Eerie Impulse into the Fluttermane and slow it down quite a bit. I will also go for a... I want a Terra Electric is the question. I don't really see Terra Fire helping here. Like, the only other Terra might be useful is Stellar Terra on the Xianpao, but I actually do think that Terra Electric does have quite a lot of value in this game. So you know what? I will go for the Terra. I'm going to go for a Rising Voltage into... Do I want a Rising Voltage? I actually want to Thunderclap the Fluttermane. I don't think this is going to be Calm Mind Fluttermane. You might be thinking, why am I going to go for a Thunderclap? And the reason is because Rising Voltage will probably insinuate, hey, he's going to have a... Electric Terrain tech. I think it would reveal it like more easily, but without it, I think this is really good. Ooh, wait, hold on. They attacked with Rillaboom. If this is Woodhammer, this is actually not great because I was expecting a huge fake out here, but we do go for the Thunderclap plus the boost here. Not bad. Moonblast going to come out into the Thundurus. Is this a Woodhammer? Does this KO the Thundurus? It does not. Okay, I did not think it was. Perfect. So I like this position. That Woodhammer did a lot less than I was expecting. I can go for Electric Terrain, get rid of this, and probably just Volt Switch out the... Or I could Thunderclap again. Or Rising Voltage. I like the idea of Rising Voltage because it catches like anything on the Switch does not appreciate this. But I could also Electric Terrain Thunderclap if I expect to attack. But I don't know if they're going to attack or if they're going to swap out here. I think I like the idea of Thunderclapping. Because they saw the damage output, they might think, oh, I survived another attack. Let me just go for a Moonblast KO to Thundurus and then Woodhammer. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. So I go for the Electric Terrain. What this allows me to do is this allows me to get rid of that grassy terrain, but also allows me to power up my Raging Bolt's Thunderclap. And with that Electric Terrain boost, I should be able to pick up the knockout because this barely did under 50% with the non-terrain. So in terrain does pick up the knockout. So I get to keep Thundurus around, which I don't think they were expecting, but it looks like they tire down the Thundurus, which is still pretty good because I get to keep my Raging Bolt pretty healthy. So I do like this trade-off regardless. Now I'm going to go out into Iron Leaves, which I think can do a massive amount of damage. I could have went into the Xianpao, but I don't know who's being brought out here. Probably Archaludon, but it is going to be the... It is Archaludon. Yep, I am right on here. So Iron Leaves comes out. I don't know how bulky Rillaboom is, but I really, really love the idea of going for a Very powerful Psyblade because it's boosted by the electric terrain, has the attack boost on the Iron Leaves. The Rillaboom also has chip, so I really like the idea of that. And then going for a very powerful Rising Voltage in electric terrain onto the Arcaladon. Let's see how much damage we're gonna do. I'm hoping for a KO into the Rillaboom slot and like 50% if it's an Assault Vest Arcaladon. So let's see if that's going to be the case. I want to weaken the Arcaladon, put in range of Sacred Sword. Psyblade going to come out into the Rillaboom. How much damage does it do? It's a knockout. That's a good knockout right there. Don't have to worry about grassy terrain being set up. So now I get to keep my electric terrain, which is beautiful. So Thunderclap is going to be more powerful. Dragon Pulse is going to be fired off, but like, look at how little damage that does. Rising Voltage is going crazy here. This is double power, electric terrain, Terra Electric. That's so much damage. That is so much damage. Gets the stamina boost, but at this point, ooh, it's leftovers. That actually took it a lot better for a leftover set than I thought. I guess that just has a lot of special defense then, but regardless, that's Torn as the last Pokemon. I'm fine with that. I really should have one Bleak Wind, so I'm just gonna go for a Psyblade and a Rising Voltage into the Arcaladon. Battle's gonna be forfeited. They know it's over. The Rising Volt, I was just taking too little damage, and the Rising Voltage was putting on too much offensive pressure. They realize it. It's a quick win. A quick win. Just be able to step electric terrain, showing how good it was. The Thunder is just really annoying with that Covert Cloak. Area impulsing the Flutter Mane. Able to do a really cool knockout tech with the electric terrain. Plus the Thunderclap, which my opponent was expecting, as I said before. That's why they click Rising Voltage, because it's less likely that they would assume the electric terrain. They think they're safe. They were not safe, my friend. What the heck am I seeing here? Regice with Ninetales, Galarian Zapdos, Ting-Lu, Entei, and Dragonite. There's not even a Xianpao. This is one heck of a crazy team. All right, so I could use their snow defense boost against them. Xianpao, of course, is actually pretty strong here. Yaoshi Fire is kind of... This is where it's weird. This team does have triple ice weakness, so... that's like the one unpleasant thing here. I do like Xianpao a lot. I do think that they're probably bringing the Entei, so that's something I'm going to have to consider. I don't really like the Raging Volteers. It only helps out against the Galarian Zapdos, so I think that's probably a pass for me. I do like the idea of... Flutter Mane's not bad, but it's not amazing either. I need pressure against the Entei. Thundurus might not be bad, even though it's against like a snow team, and there is Dragonite, but I do like the idea of electric terrain, because electric terrain power might actually be like how I break through Ting-Lu, as well as I do like Iron Leaves. I don't think it's that bad of a mod, because it's probably my best way to break through if this is a Assault Vest Dragonite or Entei. It's probably one of my best ones. I'm gonna do the Gouging Fire plus Thundurus, I think, and then Xianpao and Iron Leaves in the back. Flutter Mane is just too awkward in this matchup, and I feel like there has to be some catch for Flutter Mane. I feel like the thing is, Speed Boost of Flutter Mane is super weak too. The speed control is not going to matter too much unless I go for like Icy Wind Flare Blitz into Ninetales, and that loses to Terra Water or any defensive Terra plus Aurora Veil immediately, so I don't think that's worth it. I think I'm going to probably have to play a slower game. I hope we see the Regice. I think Regice is cool. We're going to see the... That's a Ninetales and that's a Regice. Oh boy, what am I signing up for? At least on the bright side, I could go for a Thunder Wave immediately if I want to, but I have a few plays I could go for. Oh wait. Oh, I just realized Regice. What's its hidden ability? Is this Clear Body or is this the other ability? I don't know what Regice's hidden ability is actually, because I know you get Sturdy on Regirock, but I don't know if... I think you probably keep Clear Body, don't you? Oh, that's actually a little bit difficult. I think this way I'd probably want to Thunder Wave the Ninetales, and probably I will go for the Ninetales KO actually. I'm going to do Thunder Wave plus Flare Blitz. Let's see if they allow me to. Okay, I do get the Thunder Wave off into the Ninetales. So I have a 25% chance it doesn't move, but I also have the Flare Blitz. Let's see if I'm able to knock out the Ninetales with this Flare Blitz. It is a strong attack, and it looks like I do pick up the knockout. So at least I deny... Ooh, critical hit. I don't know if that mattered. It really depends. But I do deny Aurora Veil, which is huge. Okay. I wish I could have Eerie Impulse to Regice, but I don't know if it's Clear Body or not. Blizzard. So much damage, but it's not a knockout. No freeze, thankfully. All right. This Regice is tough, man. How am I breaking through the Regice? I think I have to Terra Fire, which is not ideal. This could be Dragonite coming in. Or that's not Is that Dragonite? No, it's Galarian Zapdos. I have no idea what the Galarian Zapdos means. I don't know if they're going to target the Gouging Fire or not. I'm going to go for Electric Terrain and get my boost for Iron Leaves later on. I think I get the burn. I think I go for the Burning Bulwark here. Because this Electric Terrain going to be nice for upcoming, but I think I do want to pressure the sort of Ruined Flare Blitz in the Regice as well as a burn into the Galarian Zapdos now. Let's see if that's going to be the case. They do go for the Brave Bird. They do target down the Gouging Fire, so they are going to get burned in response, which is perfect. Okay. So that's really good. Lumberry. Okay, so at least I know it's not like Choice Scarf. That's not a factor here, so it's not something super crazy. Okay. Are you some... I'm trying to figure out if there's like some terror involved here that I'm just not seeing. I am going to go out into... The thing is, the Galarian Zapdos, if it's max speed, it's faster than this Iron Leaf. So I don't know if it's worth going out into Iron Leaves. I think it's definitely Xianpao. But there is the factor that it could be a Terra here from the Zapdos. I would like to go... Lumberry usually means I feel like it'd probably be bulky, but I don't know. The Gouging Fire doesn't have much speed investment, so I don't think I'd outspeed the Galarian Zapdos. I think I'd rather just risk the Ice Cold Crash and just Flare Blitz anyway. Oh, this could lose me a lot of momentum, including losing me the game. The fact that it was Lumberry, I felt like if it's if I burn it, it's less likely my opponent Terras. And hoping that I could catch maybe like the KO onto the Galarian Zapdos, get a pretty big Flare Blitz off into Regice. But now, let's see if there's a defensive Terra. We are going to see a Terra come out from my opponent, and I do think that's the Galarian Zapdos. It is the Galarian Zapdos. It is Terra Steel. Okay, yeah. Should have thought about this. I could have went for Sacred Sword. I don't know if that even knocks out Galarian Zapdos realistically, because I do think Galarian Zapdos has pretty good bulk. I do go for the Crash. I do flinch, which is really lucky. I do get the Flare Blitz off. Okay, we're still in the game. That KOs. That Regice doesn't have the best defense, but I thought it'd be better. I realistically thought it was better. That's really bad for my opponent. I have no idea who they targeted. If they targeted Xianpao, I was okay with that trade. But if they targeted down the Gouging Fire, I don't think I minded it, because then I get a free switch to my Iron Leaves. I get a Sacred Sword off the next turn. Xianpao's still alive because I do have the Focus Sash available. And then afterward, I think I could have got a really strong Psyblade. But yeah, that absolutely does suck for my opponent. Tinglu is the last. Protect the Xianpao, I suppose, and just go for a Flare Blitz into the Galarian Zapdos. I wonder if it was Specs. I feel like Regice... I guess his physical defense is not that great, but again, I don't think it should be that bad. We're going to see a Protect from the Galarian Zapdos because they probably want to go for an attack in the Xianpao to pick up the knockout here. With the Tinglu, maybe they have Earthquake or Rock Slide. It is going to be the Earthquake revealed here. And yeah, I did want to scout for it, but also I think it's pretty safe to bring in. Again, the Iron Leaves is going to be pretty strong here. I can't go for the Psyblade, unfortunately, in the Tinglu, but a Leaf Blade is still going to be pretty powerful. Although I really don't want to use... I think my Terra here... It's probably going to be Xianpao. Because Terra Fire Iron Leaves is not great here. I was expecting Entei, but they didn't bring Entei, so this ends up kind of working out for me. Do bring out the Quark Drive. I think Leaf Blade would knock out the Tinglu. So might as well just ensure to knock on the Galarian Zapdos. I'm pretty sure Sacred Sword would have with the chip damage, but let's see if Leaf Blade is able to knock out the Tinglu. They might hope for some RNG luck, but I don't know what they could really do here because I did keep the Focus Sash intact. And even if I didn't have my Focus Sash, I did have the Snow defense boost. So I don't know if Tinglu could actually a 2-shot to Xian Power with Earthquake into Heavy Slam, just because of that snow defense boost actually being like a really big factor here. Get the Stellar Terror just to boost up the Sacred Sword, because I'm not going to use it on Iron Leaves unless I expect a Dark move, but I don't know if this Tangela is running a Dark move. We do KO the Zapdos, which is not too surprising. And let's see if the Leap Blade can one-shot, because this is Quark Drive boosted with Life Orb. So attack boosted, Life Orb, and Sword of Ruin. One-shot to Tangela. Absolutely beautiful. Tangela goes down. We're able to beat this really strange snow team with a bit of luck. Again, I don't know if it mattered. If they did target down my... If they targeted down my Gouging Fire with the Galarian Zapdos, then I think it really just comes down to... Do I KO the Regice with an attack with Quark Drive, attack boosted Iron Leaves? Which maybe I could have, because it has Life Orb and the Sword of Ruin. But yeah, like I was surprised that Flare Blitz KO'd, so Iron Leaves might with all the multipliers, but I am not 100% certain on that one. Oh, what the heck am I looking at? Grimmsnarl, Annihilate, Cresselia, Volcarona, the Raging Moon, or did I say Raging Moon? Roaring Moon, and Ogerpon. That Annihilate looks demonic for my team. It looks absolutely demonic for my team. We're gonna see if I can approach it well, but that Pokemon's a problem. Gonna bring Thundurus for sure. I think Raging Bolt's also really solid. My back would probably be Iron Leaves to put on a bit more pressure against the Annihilate's so tricky, especially with screens. The fact that they have screens too. Last Pokemon, I don't think it's Fluttermane. Probably Xianpao puts on a lot of pressure. I'm also a little bit scared of the Volcarona, but I should be okay, I think, for the most part. Roaring Moon can also be... There's so much troublesome elements of this team. Like, the Roaring Moon... Sure, but the thing is Annihilate. So normally I could Breaking Swipe, I could pressure with the Xianpao, but they have Raging or Rage Powder Volcarona as an option. They have screens. The Annihilate's really hard to play around. So yeah, this is looking really rough here. Let's see Grimmsnarl plus Volcarona. Okay. Against Thundurus plus the Raging Bolt. I don't think this is a bad situation at all. I can go for an Electric Terrain. I need to boost up my power, and I think I'm just going to aim for the Grimmsnarl immediately, because if the Volcarona is Quiver Dance and starts setting up, that's fine. I can go for a Eerie Impulse the following turn. So I'm not like too concerned about the Volcarona if it's a setup one like Quiver Dance. I'm more concerned about Grimmsnarl and Spirit Break. Light Screen going to be set up here, which is not too surprising. And Quiver Dance is going to be set up, yeah. I think like if they big brain me, because I do want to Eerie Impulse the Volcarona, if they read an Eerie Impulse and go to Annihilate, excellently well done. That was like a perfect bait scenario, but we are able to go for a Rising Voltage. Still does a really good amount to the Grimmsnarl in the Electric Terrain through the Light Screen. Now we're going to go for an Eerie Impulse to slow down that Volcarona, make sure its damage output a lot less scary, and then hopefully set up for later. They're going to go for Protect, so I wonder if this is just Parting Shot coming out and they're going to bring out a more threatening option. But either way, like the worst I was going to do is like Wall Bolt, which I think was fine. They're going to Taunt. Ooh, dude. So this is Taunt Grimmsnarl. They don't have Parting Shot, but I do get rid of the Grimmsnarl at least, so not the best, but still not bad. I do get rid of Grim. They only got Light Screen up, so they don't have Reflect. That's pretty big for my Iron Leaves. Let's see who they bring out next. Also, they still have to worry about the... Okay, Cresselia. I don't know. They do have really passive things. I think Xianpao is pretty much worth bringing out here, because unless they did bring Roaring Moon as the last, which I am not sure of, I just like the idea of getting damage across the board. So I think I'm going to go for a Rising Voltage into the Volcarona. I don't know if this is Lunar Blessing. If this is Calm Mind Cresselia, we're in for a lot of trouble. I can't damage that Mon significantly. And stored power is going to build up even if I lower its special attacks. So we'll see here. Are they going to Quiver Dance? Are they going to go straight for the damage output? They're going to Quiver Dance again, which is perfectly acceptable. Okay. They do have to watch out for Stellar Terra Sucker Punch. So that's at least one thing that's nice. Here comes a Rising Voltage into the Volcarona. Light Screen plus that. That's a crazy amount. Ooh, big Moonblast. Not ideal. Not ideal. I will protect and just Volt Switch out now. I think I want to Volt Switch the Cresselia because Volcarona could protect here. Yeah, because they want to Moonblast the Shein Pal, get rid of it. And what this allows me to do is I do have the Sucker Punch option in deck, and I also have Thunderous. I could bring out the Thunderous. I could click Thunder Wave into Volcarona, which could definitely... I think I do want to Thunder Wave to Volcarona and get the damage onto the Cresselia. We'll bring out the Thunderous. I could also Terra Sucker Punch. Out of quite a few. They did Moonblast here. Yep. That's why I Volt Switched to Cresselia, because the damage to... I don't think... Maybe it does matter for the Sucker Punch calc. Talistera, but yeah, this thing is +2 though, so I don't know if it's worth targeting down to Volcarona. I actually really like the idea of getting damage into the Cresselia. It might be crazy, but I do think they're attacking with Cresselia. I'm gonna go for an Eerie Impulse into the Volcarona and Sucker Punch the Cresselia. Looks like I think they went for Lunar Blessing plus Heat Wave. I was wondering if they would play scared of potential Stellar Terra Sucker Punch and would go for like a Quiver Dance, but it looks like Fiery Dance instead, which is fine. Okay. Getting the boost. I mean, it's not too bad. I think it's mainly going to come down to the Cresselia, in this case a lot here. Oh no. That is skill swap. It's not what I expected. Vegetarian disappears. That's actually really bad timing. I'm going on into Iron Leaves. I want to pressure the Volcarona. I believe that my Iron Leaves is faster than Thunderous, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. I'm going to go for the Terra Fire to resist the Volcarona. I don't know if they protect the Scout. It would be a very fair play on their part. I'm just going to go for a Psyblade, and I really want to go for a Wall Bolt, but I mean, no matter what, I have a chance to miss with no matter what move. I feel like I'm just doing too little to the Volcarona anyway. I think I am going to go for a fun... Oh, they have priority Lunar Blessing. That's actually insane. Oh, wait, I'm screwed. I completely forgot because they have skill swap on the Cresselia. They get the priority Lunar Blessing, so no matter what, they're always going to get an advantage in healing wise, which is really bad for me. I think I should have Eerie Impulse this turn. Yeah, that priority Lunar Blessing is going to be huge. If we thought Lunar Blessing was broken before, the fact that they have Lunar Blessing on Cresselia now, oh man. Fire Wrath or Fiery Dance, they are going to target down the Iron Leaves. Why did that do so much? That's a really bad crit. Okay, luckily no special attack drop. Here comes the Psyblade. Yeah, not enough. Let's see if we could get... What did we lock into? Wobble? They also have a berry. It's not looking too hot here. Oh, I did Thunder Wave. Okay. Or did I time out? I thought it was a spread move I clicked, but that's actually... Is that best case? Not... Actually, no. That's kind of useless. I would have preferred Electric Terrain. I'm going for the Electric Terrain now and Psyblading. I would have preferred Electric Terrain because they just get a Lunar Blessing with priority, so it doesn't matter. This paralysis doesn't matter. Like, I would have rather either preferred Wobble Chip because it might have maybe allowed me to put it in the Psyblade range after another Lunar Blessing. Now I don't think I even have that chance. Yeah, this Volcarona kind of demonic right now, but they Fiery Dance the Thunderous. Okay. So much damage. Jeez. That special attack drop is not good. Psyblade into the Volcarona. I should have went for Wobbled Storm. I do go for the Electric Terrain. Yeah, I needed the Electric Terrain earlier. So I needed to not time out. I needed a little bit more time to think on that one. Ooh, it's not good. Last turn of light screen. I think it's Raging Bolt, and I think it's Eerie Impulse. Yeah, because Wall Bolt's not going to matter. They're just going to Lunar Blessing. I think I need Iron Leaves for one strong attack. Lunar Blessing going to come out once again. I imagine you're targeting down the Iron Leaves because you should have been able to get a knockout from previously. Yeah, you do target the Iron Leaves slot, so this is good at least. Because Raging Bolt able to take the attack. Luckily, they didn't get a special attack boost this time around, so I'm able to fire off an Eerie Impulse into the Volcarona. Okay, light screen wears off. This is what we timed for. Now we go for a Rising Voltage, and we're going to go for Wall Bolt Storm. Problem is, they can go for Protect. They didn't Protect this time, which is actually really good because I can Who's faster, Cresselia or Raging Bolt? Because that determines whether I Thunderclap or potential outspeed the following turn. I think I just lose to the Volk. I think, unfortunately, my damage output was too little against the Volcarona, unfortunately. Yeah, unless I am faster than the Volcarona and can go for a... Well, actually, I do have it now. Although they did get a special attack raise, so my Iron Leaves is invulnerable. So I guess the question is, are they going to protect the Volcarona and Lunar Blessing? Or, which I think is like... I think it would be their most likely play. Or they could just go for Fiery Wrath again. I think I need to make a... I think I need a big play here. I think I'm going to target the Cresselia with Leaf Blade into the Rising Voltage. I do get to play it right, so some momentum. They do go for the Lunar Blessing as anticipated. I should be getting the knockout Cresselia, I think, with this Rising Voltage and Leaf Blade. That does a pretty good amount of damage to the Cresselia. Rising Voltage into the Cresselia, picks up the knockout. Critical hit I don't think was necessary. What's the last Pokemon? This last Pokemon's going to really matter. But I think no matter what, if it's Roaring Moon, I absolutely lose. I think that is Roaring Moon. What booster energy are used? Attack or speed? It's attack? I don't think it matters. I think I do lose regardless. I'm gonna go for a Rising Voltage into the... What's the out here? I think they're most likely just gonna Fire Wrath KO the Iron Leaves, and they're probably gonna knock off. So what is my ideal play? Is it to go for a Thunderclap crit into Volcarona, and then they target the Raging Bolt with the Roaring Moon, and then I get a close combat KO? I think that's most likely the best. I think that's my out. I think it's really bad otherwise. I could ally switch here, but I don't think the ally switch saves me. Because I think Roaring Moon... Actually, maybe it does. I'm going to Rising Voltage. I'm going to ally switch. You know what? Hoping the Fire Wrath goes at... Why did they double protect? Oh, they were scared of... Oh, they did... Oh, what? Volcarona goes down to the Earthquake. I guess they were scared of Thunderclap? No, Thunderclap wasn't KOing without a crit. They were just going for the Earthquake, and I guess they forgot they protected the previous turn. Does that mean if I Draco Meteored I won? Yeah, I don't do enough damage to the Roaring Moon. Also, the fact that they have Earthquake, too. I was just expecting a knockoff Dragon Dance set. It's over. They click Earthquake. Yeah, I think this team was just really tough. I think, like, I just couldn't afford to time out. I think I made some pretty good overall macro plays, but the big one was timing out on the Volcarona on the turn of the Thunder Wave, because the Thunder Wave was useless for the Lunar Blessing. If I got the extra power with the Psyblade, I would have been able to pick up the knock on the Volcarona. Game's still pretty tough because I do think Roaring Moon is actually still pretty difficult to handle, but it gives me a much better chance. So overall, I think, you know, I got some protect calls right. I was able to read on that mark, but still I needed to pretty much I just couldn't afford a mistake there, and the timeout just screwed me over. All right, let's go over to games. In game 1, Rising Voltage Raging Bolt was able to do so much damage to my opponent, and with the knockouts onto Ogerpon and the Farigiraf on the same turn, there's nothing to stop the Thunderclap sweeping the remaining Tornursh because there's no Follow Me and there is no Armor Tail preventing it. In game 2, beautiful start as I was able to eliminate my opponent's Fluttermane while having terrain control, so my opponent had nothing that could take the Psyblades and the Rising Voltages that were just coming out from my Paradox Pokemon. In game 3, I have no idea what to say about the Snow team, but I was able to eliminate the Ninetales early, denying Auroraville. I did get lucky with the Icicle Crash, but it would have come down to Ironleaves and did it have enough multipliers to be able to one-shot the Wretched Ice in Snow. In game 4, screens were extremely hard for me to break through, and timing out sealed my fate against the Volcarona. I needed to get the Electric Terrain on that turn so I could knock it out with the Iron Leaves with the Psyblade after the Lunar Blessing, but I also probably should have committed the Iron Leaves earlier in the game and brought it instead of going for the Rising Voltage against the Volcarona early in the game with my Raging Bolt. I think this team is really fun and really incredible. Iron Leaves is able to do a lot of damage. Sometimes I would have liked to see the Protect on Iron Leaves, I think, for some positions. Ally Switch is cute. It can catch a lot of opponents off guard, but it is a Pokemon that can be very vulnerable in the wrong positions. But how much damage Electric Terrain is incredible. The Psyblade, the Quirk Drive, and the Electric Boost from the Raging Bolt, I really loved how this team synergized. If you would like to try it out, there is the rental code on the screen. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.